It's the Hogwarts Castle 71043, and it's built, but to avoid controversy, because some people don't enjoy professional reviews of things, we're gonna just pretend that it's a regular castle. We're not gonna talk about any of the Harry Potter stuff, so just a nice regular castle, and we'll just look at the details and such. Now, if you want a full Harry Potter lore breakdown of all the locations and such, make sure to leave some kind of like or something. And if you were to comment, that would probably let me know that you wanted more of a complete review of it. But, you know, just whatever you can do. So the first and most important thing is that, what about the vehicles? I know you're saying, what are those brown things? And what's that little blue and white thing? Well, the brown things are boats. There's all the different angles, and they're all built the same. Pretty reasonable. It's using a window arch thingy. And you're wondering what kind of scale these boats would be. Well, they're okay for a Heroica-sized figure, but they're freaking massive for a microscale guy. He's in there, I swear. Speaking of, this is a car. Cars are typically meant to keep people inside, so we're having a little bit of issue with scale right off the bat. But, I mean, it's got like 6,000 pieces. It probably can recover from this, right? So, because we're talking about scale of things, how about the people? So, the main people it comes with are these microfigures, and you get a ton of them. You get, let's see. Yeah, so you get, green and white, beige and brown, black, mostly a dark red, a pink, a lot more wearing black. That one's got some purple vest, some cleavage, various jacket type items. This guy over here, except it won't focus now, just so freaking tiny. That guy here, he's greenish too. It's neat. Some more jackety people, but that's not even all of them. Technically, all of those have back printing-ish or something to some extent. Not all of them, I guess, but there's some stuff going on the back side, too. So the rest of the figures are as follows. Black with blonde hair, black, gray, and bald. Black. Just, there's a lot of the microfigures in dark colors, which, I mean, is nice. They're all related to the theme of the castle, if you're into that, and they've got like the little butt anti-stud holes that you could sit them down if they were real people, but they're just styled like Lego real people. Next up are some minifigures, and I know you're like, this isn't a minifigure scale build. What are there's lore reasons for Harry Potter characters to be included. These are the people that made this castle-ish, apparently. Very red wizard, kind of a beige yellow wizard, a green wizard, and a blue wizard, which are all very appropriate. They've got the old style cape, and there's all kinds of printing you can't see because of, well, first of all, they were on stands, and then second of all, accessories and such are blocking it. They do have two faces on all of them, I believe. And if I'm wrong on that, oh no, obviously the bald guy doesn't, does he? He does have some printing under there. It's the old style cape, and I would be a good bit more ungentle with these, but they're not maybe mine. This is an amazing outfit, though. This one with the okay, it's gonna focus. There it is. With the dress piece going down, and it's a little regal because of the crests and such in the front there, but very reasonable overall. Kind of a very troublemaker looking face. And lastly is the red one. Oh, he doesn't have a second face either. My mistake. Only the female ones have secondary faces. Very minimal amount of printing on his back, and obviously none of them had side printing as far as I know. One thing to note, and I feel like it's important to the set, is that you kind of start to lose accessories as you move on. So the red one has a wand, a sword, a beard, a cape, and a hairpiece. We lose the beard, and we have a cup instead of a sword. So a cape, cup, wand, hairpiece. Then we just have wand, beard, and cape, so that's 3, and then 2 with just the hair and the wand for the blue, which, okay, that's fine. They've got no lore implications to have anything else, but just kind of, I mean, I'm not the only one that feels that way, I'm sure, but little stand's nice, very helpful to display it. You could just leave it in front of the big thing, and people are like, wow, I know that you actually spent the $400 on that. If you're from America. If you're from other countries, I don't know how much you spent. If you recall from earlier, that car is actually part of this build, technically. It's a tree that fights cars. There's some lore implications to including this and all that. The main lore implication is that bit of black there is a secret passage, and it's represented. Nice. The car is still too small, and the tree becomes very large tree next to the scale of the figure included in the set. One more thing to round out the side builds, and I need this little guy back again, is this house. This is a small house next to it. Those are pumpkins in the front. It's two round houses that are kind of conjoined. Some smokestacks type stuff. This is steepling of the house so the rain wicks out. There's also a large lore-related spider here, and that spider is absolutely massive compared to a regular microfigure. The Heroica figure, I feel like it's more in size for what I would assume. And then let's go ahead and compare that to a piece of the set that's actually attached to the castle. So this is a small boathouse, and we're going to kind of follow that in, I feel like, is a good way to do the review. But this is the size of this cottage next to it, and the lamps, these are huge, just, I would assume, fire, kind of type pot things, whatever that word is. But they're the same size as pumpkins. But I mean, a pumpkin's big, but like these are very large compared to people. Like you could basically stick someone's entire head into that fire. It would almost stay because it's massive. Massive. Just to kind of interrupt the flow of this video, obviously this is a new recording area, and thumbs up if you love recording in the kitchen. There's all kinds of great sounds like silverware drawers and refrigerators and coffee machines in the background. But to continue the review, this is the boathouse we just talked about. There's a little window up here, cute. There's no windows on the side, as you can see there, but this represents a staircase that leads you up to the main courtyard, I would call that. These are printed windows. This one here is hollow. It's the archway, like the gateway into it from the staircase is very nice. You're going to notice some tree decorations around the base and all this rock work. There are some large pieces in there. This is a large piece, but a lot of small pieces to break it up, which I think is a very it's an appropriate way to make a set like this. So let's go into the front of this. We just interrupted the flow in the last clip, but we're going to do some shaky cam stuff. This is the interior of the courtyard. Probably not going to get great lighting at all of the angles because I'm going to block out some of my different lamps. But that's the main kind of like dining hall, I believe, is what I'd call that, through that door. So let's actually, you know what? Let's look. Here we go. Now, in order to get into that section, the whole thing actually splits fissures right in the middle and creates two very large castles, but they're fairly easy to handle at this size. They're a lot more manageable than the full thing. And this is that dining hall. And it's kind of empty. What else would you expect? Of course, we'll give you an overview of the whole back, but the stained glass windows you couldn't exactly appreciate from the outside. From the inside, you can see a lot of the colors coming through there. There's some banners. It's a school castle, as you're aware. So those are representing different teams and such. There's an area up front for the esteemed guests or teachers, owners of the castle, whatnot. And I feel like an appropriate thing to do is just finish out the bottom of it. This is a thing. Lighting is at a premium, and it's just a very hard thing to display and record in a proper 100% fashion because it's just massive, and there's lots of little nooks and crannies that are so freaking tiny. And maybe some kind of halo light. I'm not getting into what kind of lighting would be appropriate for this, but I will bring in a Microfigure again, and look at the size of those gray snakes. Those are statues. And that green snake, that's alive. So, just a massive snake here. Again, there's lore reasons for all these things. They take place in the movies that this set is based on, which is based on books. And that's kind of it for that thing. I adjust the camera really nice and fast for you. You can see that there is a giant kind of face structure built out of that, and there's some stickers for detailing. And it looks appropriate. I like it. It's a nice looking thing. The kind of like just a little bit higher there, you can see kind of the rounded shapes that they're able to achieve with those new tile pieces and some curved plates. But just it looks pretty okay. Looks alright. From that crazy dungeon right below the main dining hall is this kind of weird multi-headed snake-esque picture. Some kind of contraption, whatever. We really don't have time to look into everything. There's a lot of tiny little details in these stickers here. So I'm going to try and get you a shot of all of them. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to be the best one to see all these details from. But I really do appreciate if you'd share and like this video. There's all kinds of different families and stuff back there. There's a knight. That's one of my favorites, actually, in the right. That one. And those staircase moves, again, for lore reasons. Everyone loves those. So going up, one more big one up here. This is a kind of fountain bathing area. And it's got a mermaid back there, I believe. And there's a... So the problem is, and again, I got to pull out the Microfigure and kind of hold it up in here. Yeah, that's the scale of the person, and the stickers larger than that to represent a Microfigure ghost. Okay. A large ornamental golden bird, and then there's a dragon on the top. I don't think I mentioned that before, but that's on the outside. There's some more pictures up top here that aren't really accessible to the figures attending the castle school. And then if I bring the light all the way up, you can just start to get some of these details in this little study, little thing, like whatever. More shaky cams to show off these little guys. They're also Microfigure-esque, but again, they're bigger than Microfigures. They're magical ghosts of some sort. And then there's the dragon around on this side of the outside. This side has some little rooms tacked on for style points, and I mean, it's worth it. There's also some kind of lightning rod or well vein something. And then you get this little dragon. He's in microscale as well. He's fairly posable considering he's got all kinds of little articulations, but oh damn, don't fall off. Okay, I thought he was going to fall off. Spiky-tailed giant dragon. Just he lives on that part of the castle here. It's the main tower with all those. Why did that for one person need an entire tower for one office? So for reference, this here is the courtyard that went into the main dining hall. There's also a bridge here. There's another open window arch that's, a doorway arch at that point. It goes across the bridge all the way to this area, way over here. And there's another. This one actually has stickered doors, and you can. I feel like you can see those all right, but they don't quite meet in the middle, but again, it's such a tiny gap. But at this scale, that's enough for a person to slip through. Lots of great detailing on the bridge, these arches to hold it up and whatnot. Very nice. And then more rock work everywhere all around the back. But I guess let's finish the outside of the second half of the castle. So there's rock work, more trees, up to 2 towers. We're going to look at the outside of this building. It's a symmetrical design. There's 2 towers on each side, a skinny one and a fat one, and then kind of a little decorative something here in the middle. It's there's just some colored studs in there, but I guess it's a stained glass window again. Those are all stained glass windows. It's hard to appreciate them though from any kind of viewing distance, and especially when you're looking at the front side. Going around here, there's another small bridge and some kind of more tacked on towers. And those have tops and everything, very nice. Going over, there's a really big archway there, and it's kind of meets into almost a point at the top, more giant lamps. And that's the fault line of the entire set. So let's take a look at the detailing on this half. See it from the front, but this kind of goes into an L shape. That's a lamp. But we'll start with this side first. Down here is a room of junk. There's all kinds of stickers, an electric guitar, a pretzel, a skeleton, just junk piled on junk on piled on junk. Next over is some kind of brewing area. It's a fantasy castle, as we know, and there's potions and stuff, skulls, there's a bat up there. The stickering is honestly the best part of this set, but it's at such a small scale that it's not maybe entirely usable for anything you're going to build in minifigure scale, so yeah. Up to this next one, it's, I don't know, some kind of stickers, some kind of like help wanted board perhaps. It's nice enough. There's some kind of little like lounging area. There's some fire going on over here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Maybe a library, but it's like chairs everywhere. You can see the stained glass much better from the inside. Oh, and look, stickers that look like bricks. Cute. I claimed it was an L, but it's definitely a really misshapen L. There's that bridge we talked about, the short bridge. There's a tiny, it's a mirror, and there's a little red, little droplet of blood. No, that's not. There's lower reasons that that's red right there, but fire, so much fire. So it's actually kind of going backwards from that, but there's a human-sized chessboard. Wow, how wacky! And then this room has insect keys. They're insect keys. And the last thing to go along with those bottom levels is there's this room with vines in it. It's an underground vine growing room. That's, well, how fun. Getting faster and reviewing all this stuff, and I'm just getting more frantic as I realize how long this video is getting. But from the chessboard goes up, there's this very detailed little window thing. That would be appropriate in a lot of different settings. There's more rock details, you know, things. And then there's some text, actually, and it says, "The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware." And that's what it says in there, and you're going to have to take my word if you can't read it all in one shot. And that's all that's in that this middle level here. There's a pink room above it, though, and the pink room is so great. Everyone loves the pink room, blah, 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 pink room. And then next to it is a real working magnifying glass. There's a picture of a dragon bones, some pots and such, another magnifying glass up there. Okay, cute. There's some fairy hieroglyphic type things. This balloon with an eyeball, he's cute. I think this is supposed to be a music player here in the front, and then some tables for students to take lessons from a music player. How wacky! Small details that I did gloss over. There's an entire walkway on the back side of the dining hall, and it goes all the way around the castle into the unlit section that I don't have lit right now. This is one of my favorite things. It's a stained glass on the four sides, but it's like embossed from the castle. I'm not sure what you call that in castle architecture terms, but it's cute. So I think it's fitting that we tell you to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Kind of looking at the back side of the castle all the way. Look at how tall it is. It's a massive castle. $400 is definitely a reasonable price for this many pieces, but I'm going to tell you a really controversial opinion real quick. I really don't think it's worth it for what you get, personally, because maybe I'm just not a big enough fan of Harry Potter. You do get a lot of little things and a lot of reasonable stuff. There's just so many different things, but when you look at it as a collection of bricks, it's really hard for me to justify wanting to pay that much money for all these kind of random scenes from movies. And don't get me wrong, it's very intricate and the sticker detailing is great. Just everything you get doesn't, I don't know, I'm not into it, like I said. You got a baggie of teeny tiny figures that aren't worth playing with because they're so freaking small. All these details are great and all, but like, for what? The minifigures are crazy cool if you wanted some multicolored wizards, but it's a really expensive set to have to get them in. The main thing that I think is kind of neat is that if you watch my video, it's one of my more popular recent videos on the Barnes & Noble free giveaway Hogwarts Express, it's almost in scale with these characters, especially considering how small I mean, the scale is really relative because that car and boat we discussed. So that's a good reason to get it if you're into collecting all of that. Kind of my final thoughts is that it looks really great when you are looking at it from all the way out here where my lamps and everything are, and it's really big and it's really cool looking, but I'm going to give it a bad score. So, yeah, that's the end of the review. Make sure to do like and unlike, I guess, if you don't like it, dislike, whatever the bad one is, but I prefer if you didn't do those. Give me constructive criticism in the comments. Leave a comment with your favorite thing from the castle. Clicking here will give you a subscription link. It'll be here-ish. The bag of minifigures is going to be something else, and you know, I might as well link you to that train video because they're microfigures. These are microfigures. This is Pro LC, number one on the YouTube.